Well, first, Andrea Lomena, I want to thank very much the Common Action Forum to organize this conference with people from so many countries that have been having a very relevant role either in the academic world or in politics, or many philosophers, economists, and so on, including in the two sessions that happened today. Once in the morning, Face to the Mirror, What Remains of the Battle Between Equality and Freedom, and the one that I have participated now, Beyond Entrepreneurship, Real Alternatives to the Labor Society. And it was very interesting for me, the experience that when we had the panel, Joaquin Nieto Sainz from Spain and a member of the International Labour Organization, Steve Quinn, professor of economics of Kingston University, Bob Black, an American philosopher known for his work in anarchism, and myself, plus the two commentators, Professor Arlene Clemecha from Brazil of history, especially of the Arab world and Arab people, and Ayo Obe, commentator from, she is president of the Civil Liberties Organization and from Nigeria. So, and all of us, the 6 members of the panel and including the commentators, all embraced and with enthusiasm the proposal of citizens' unconditional basic income. What it is the right of everyone, no matter sex, age, race, civil and socio-economic condition, to be able to receive an income that will be sufficient to attend his or her basic needs. To no one will be negated. Even for the rich, yes. Of course, we that have more will contribute for ourselves and every other to have it. In Brazil, as a senator, I was able to, first in 1991, I presented the Guaranteed Minimum Income program proposal through a negative income tax, and with the development of the debate about this proposal, we have had the Guaranteed Minimum Income program related to education and health opportunities, and from the development of the experiences that we have had, it was, several programs were unified in 2003 by President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, and the so-called Bolsa Família program was instituted. Is a sort of a negative income tax to poor families as long as they have their children going to school, getting the necessary vaccines according to the calendar of the Ministry of Health, and also mothers who are pregnant must do their prenatal exams in the health posts, public posts, and so on. And this has contributed to diminish absolute and extreme poverty in Brazil. And in December 2003, there were 3.5 million families, and in July 2015, it went to 204 million families. Then it diminished in 2016, always above 3,900,000 families, and it has diminished. Last August 17 was 3.5 million approximately families. So I have written in one of the main newspapers in Brazil an article saying that the present government is behaving contrary to the main objective, fundamental objective of diminishing poverty and diminishing inequality, social inequality in Brazil. And this is one of the fundamental objectives of our constitution to do that. But it so happened that more and more, interacting with your friends like Philippe Vamparis, Daniel Raventós, Guy Stanning, Klaus Hoff, and so many others that have founded the Basic Income European Network, that since the Barcelona International Congress that happened in 2010, and I told them, why don't you change the Basic Income European Network to the Basic Income Earth Network, since there are here people from all continents and they accept it. And so it was already in the 2004 Bian Congress that I was elected the co-chair of, together with Karl Weiderkist of Bian, because I had been able, after presenting a project to institute the citizens' basic income, in December 2001. In December 2002 was approved by all parties in the Brazilian Senate. In December 2003 by all parties in the Chamber of Deputies. It went to President Lula to sanction or not in January 2004, and he sanctioned after the Minister of Finance explained to him, since it is to be instituted gradually, it is feasible, you may sanction. And he sanctioned in a very beautiful ceremony at the Palácio do Planalto in Brasília, with the presence of Philippe Vamparis, that is the founder of Bian, the main founder of Bian. And because the law was approved by all parties, especially because there is a paragraph saying that the citizens' basic income will be instituted step by step under the executive criteria, taking into account first those most in need, like the Bolsa Família does it. So the Bolsa Família program might be seen as a step towards the citizens' basic income. Well, there are several advantages by introducing the unconditional citizens' basic income as a right to everyone. The Brazilian law says that all residents of Brazil will have the right to receive, including foreigners living in Brazil for 5 years or more. So, what are the advantages, say, with respect to the Bolsa Família program and other income transfer programs? First, we will eliminate any bureaucracy that happens when you must know if the person is earning how much and the accumulated wealth of the person. You will simply, everyone will have the right, and you don't need to tell how much you earn, how much of wealth you have accumulated in life. Second, you will eliminate any stigma or same sense of shame of having to declare, I receive only that, and that's why I need a complement of income. You will also end up the poverty or unemployment trap that happens when you do have a system that says any person who does not reach that level of income will have a right to a complement. And the person is thinking about, will I accept or not this activity, this job that will make me earn this much? But if I accept, earn this much, and then the government comes and take whatever I was earning in that social program, then perhaps I will quit and will enter in the unemployment or poverty trap. But will the basic income contribute for ociousity? No, I don't think so. Let us think of us human beings, women or men. We all like to do so many things, even without any remuneration. For example, the mothers, when they are nourishing their babies at any time of the day or the night. We parents, when we take care of our children for them to develop well, to be well fed, to eat the best food, to not to have any harm. We do it with all our love, and of course, and we parents, we do everything that it's in our capacity to do well to our children. When our grandmothers and grandfathers are old and need our attention, there we are. In the neighboring associations, in the churches of all denominations, in the studied student body of all schools and universities, how many of us are always doing things because we like to do it for the community? Our constitution says that private property should be respected. This means that a person that owns a factory, a farm, a hotel, a bank, or a restaurant, a real property or a financial title, this person is can receive the income from capital in the form of profits, rents, and interests. And in order to receive those income from capital, must they necessarily show that they are working? Must they necessarily must prove that their children and their adolescents are going to school? No. So if we allow those who are better off to receive these types of incomes, why don't we assure the right of everyone to participate at least in part of the wealth of our nations? I think it's a common sense proposal. But the main advantage of the basic income is from the point of view of real freedom and dignity, such as For example, Amartya Sen tells the Nobel Prize economist today at Harvard University, he explains in Development as Freedom that development, to be meaningful, must signify a greater degree of freedom to everyone in society. And he explains with an interesting story. When he was a boy, his father was a professor in a good school, and so as a boy he was playing in the garden of his home, and suddenly a man came asking for help. He had been knifed in his back, and so he called his father, that came immediately, and with his father he followed to the hospital. On the way, this man, Kader Mia, said, well, my wife had told me not to come to this quarter, this bairro, so dangerous because of ethnic fights, but I had no other alternative than to find a job here near, in this place. And it so happened that when they arrived at the hospital, this man had a very strong hemorrhage and died. And so Amartya Sen concludes, typically, this man, Kader Mia, didn't have real freedom. He had to put his health and life in risk to obtain a work, a job that would guarantee his survival. Well, in the same way, for example, that woman having no other alternative to give food to their children or to her grandmother, and decides to sell her body, or the young man that to help their home, their family in getting the necessary survival, decides to become a member of the narco-traffic gang, as so many times happens in Brazil. Well, on the day that for himself, herself, and for everyone in their families, if they have a basic income sufficient to attend their basic needs, this person will be able to say no to the only alternative that comes to him or to her that will do harm to her health or to her dignity, and or to his dignity and life. So they will be able to say, well, thanks to the basic income from now on, I can wait a while, perhaps enroll in a course nearby in an institution in my city, so that I will be able, until one day I will find a job that it is more consistent with my will, my vocation. It is in this sense that the citizen's basic income will raise the level of real freedom and dignity to all.